C-Topher Central. It's the place to be. Enjoy yourself, why don't you?
Greetings and salutations. I'm back. And yes, it's been quite a long time. I can't even remember. I remember recording it, but I don't remember the date of which I released my last episode, and that's saying something. I remember saying that I would try to stick to every weekend. I don't remember if I said that in an episode or to myself or to somebody, but I remember very distinctly that a goal of mine was to release an episode every weekend. That did not happen. And that's okay. That's okay. Because I do know for a fact that way back in the first episode, I also said that I'd be really busy, at least for the time being, as I am still in school. And therefore, education kind of takes priority. But, I know what you're thinking. Well, okay, sure, but surely there's been some time, right? And there was. I will admit there has been a lot of opportunities for me to do this. And, I just didn't do it. So, with episode 6, I, of course, had something planned a long time ago. I didn't forget, and I've still been planning. I still got things cooking in the pot. Don't worry. I still have things cooking, and I have a lot of information to share with you today. But, rather than doing my original plan for episode 6, I think it would be a good time to just kind of, catch up, update you, and, have a conversation. Or a one-sided conversation, I suppose. But, yeah, either way, I just want to talk to you, which is, of course, the point of the podcast. But, it's more personal. It's more intimate this time, because I'm talking to you. It's more heartfelt. I have nothing planned. Well, I did, but, I don't have a script for this, is what I'm saying. I don't have a written out notes, nothing for that. Because I'm just going to talk to you from the heart, and I know what I'm going to say, and I know kind of how I'm going to say it, and, we're just going to roll with that. So, The first thing that I would like to address is, where I've been. So, yes, I already said school and stuff, but I also had a surgery recently. Nothing crazy. I just got my wisdom teeth removed. However, that really took me out, and that lasted about most of my winter break. So I was planning on doing some episodes, maybe getting everything up to episode 8 out, but that didn't happen, obviously. And with, your mouth having surgery done on it, your mouth isn't your best friend anymore. It's not all that functional. It's, it's not a good time. It hurts. In fact, at the moment of me recording this, it still kinda hurts. Not too much, but only when I open it too much, Like if I were to sing and I were to fully open my mouth, it would hurt. Or if I sneeze, I don't know why it still hurts, but if I sneeze, it hurts a lot more than usual, I should say. So I'm still frustratingly dealing with that, but that's that. And then another reason was, well, you see, it's a little hard. It's a little hard making these episodes. Not the content per se, because I know what to talk about. I know how to plan things out. I know how to organize. But it was really just the technology and having to figure things out and then go back through and edit and all that jazz and stuff. And I know that's oh, really, Chris? Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, I know. And this isn't even crazy. This is just audio, which We'll get to that when we get there, but this at the moment is just audio. Like that's not that bad compared to like other podcasts where you have a camera and then you have the video and the two people talking and it's a whole thing and all that stuff. Right. That's complicated too. But the thing is, when I was recording episodes 1 through 5, I was using my old crusty dusty Chromebook that I've had since like 7th grade. And so it's so crusty dusty musty that every time I just bend the screen, you know, like how you're adjusting the screen of a laptop, whenever I do that, the entire screen glitches out as if someone punched it. And so I hope that can paint the picture here as to just a small bit of my frustration with the process in terms of logistics. Every time I had to record a section of my episodes, I would have to record for like 2-3 minutes and then stop and then wait like 5 minutes for that section to load, and then it would be a whole process of that, and then I would go back and listen to it, and then I would hear that it glitched itself to high heavens. So now I would have to go back and re-record those sections to get rid of the glitching and hope it doesn't glitch again. But it would glitch again. And sometimes, I mean, let's be real, you probably heard it, but it would just glitch and I'd just leave it there because it's just I just didn't have the tools available to provide the highest level of quality, or at least a level of quality that I personally wanted to provide. And if I wanted to provide that level of quality, I would have had to spend a lot more time than I could have afforded on these episodes. And I didn't want that either. So it was kind of a lack of motivation to go through that process. I think that's about 60% of the reason why. So, yeah, which segues into right now. You see, you may have noticed that the audio quality is different. And there's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, I'm in my closet, and the acoustics are weird, but I'm getting used to it. And number 2, I got a new phone! Woo! See, that's awesome. That is so awesome, because my old phone, well, I've had that since I was in 6th grade. And for context, it likes to turn itself off over and over again, and it would randomly restart itself over and over again. And the SIM card would eject itself. So essentially, my phone was not being nice. It was not being nice at all. But now that I have a new phone, I have more options. Storage? Ha! Please, don't talk about storage with my old phone. I had to delete everything off my old phone because if I had anything more than the bare essentials, it would essentially yell at me every 2 seconds, "We're gonna die! Storage limit! Ah!" Yeah, that's not a problem anymore. Pictures? First things to go. And the quality of the pictures, you had to stand there for like 10 minutes waiting for it to focus. So it was just, you see what I'm talking about. But I currently have a Google Pixel, which is great because now I have this level of audio quality, and I'm not using my headphones and my computer and the setup that I had prior. I'm now using my phone in my closet, and that's it. And so it's simpler, it's more efficient, you can still hear me, and I hope this reduces the glitching to 0. But yeah, so everything, I have ideas. You see, it's genius. It's really genius because now with this new technology at my disposal, I can do videos of me going fishing or solving my Rubik's Cube a bajillion times, and other idle activities. Sitting in a chair, you know, that's interesting. I can do stuff and you can look at it, which increases your engagement. And the best thing is, if you don't want to look at it, you don't have to, because I'm not doing anything, like I'm doing stuff, but I'm not. It's just another layer of quality, some depth, And let's see, I can have featured people. Yeah, I can do a bajillion things. In fact, after I do episode 6 for you guys, I was already planning on uploading another old video I made. It's not a podcast or anything. It's actually just a little short skit that I made 4 years ago from this year. And it was funny. I liked it. I was bored when I made it, so don't judge too harshly. My sense of humor was that of a young freshman, and yeah. But I just wanted to put it out there because I couldn't upload it before. I didn't know where it was. I forgot about it entirely until I was going through all of my photos and backing things up so that it can be transferred to the new phone. And I ran into it again, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this entirely. And so I watched it, laughed for all the right and wrong reasons, showed it to my father, similar reaction, but without the laughter. Yeah. So it was a nice memory to see again, and I'm gonna post it on my YouTube channel because I think it should just be out there for people to laugh at. I don't care. I mean, I think it was funny. If you laugh at me, it's fine. I'm laughing at me too. It's okay. So automatically you're laughing with me. So it's okay. Just laugh. I think it's funny. And if you don't think it's funny, we'll boo you. So I'm just kidding. But yeah. So new phone, new technology, new prospects, new ideas. We're going in a great direction. And while we're on the topic of new, I'm sure you heard it, but I did in fact innovate the little jingle at the beginning. I changed it to C-Topher, and I threw some chords in there. Now, as I was listening to it just now, it's gonna take a minute to grow on me because I really liked the C-Topher. I can't even sing it right now. My voice is a little but I like the original, and I changed it for 2 reasons. Number one, it's the new year, So the new year, you gotta do stuff new, and number 2, according to the popular opinion, those being the few who actively listen to my podcast and give me feedback about it, they prefer C-Topher rather than C-Topher. And at first I was like, well, I like C-Topher because grammatically speaking, it's C-Topher because it's not Chris-Topher anymore because the HRIS is gone. So now it's just the C by itself and the word Topher and like a toffee cake, and it was a whole thing. But as I was just saying it out loud and thinking about it and thinking about my name and how people just say naturally C-Topher, I was like, you know what, C-Topher, that's cool. And it's accurate to my name, at least, because my name doesn't follow grammatical principles either, because if it did, then it'd be Christopher because of the CH, but it's Christopher, so I automatically can't really talk about grammar when it comes to my name. So I changed it to C-Topher. If you don't like that, well, I'm gonna put a poll at the bottom of this episode, and feel free to fill it out, and if you want me to change it back, then I'll change it back, and if you like C-Topher, then yippee-ki-yay, and if you don't care, then just don't do anything. In fact, if you want to do something, I'll just put a box for you that says. As for those chords you heard, I think I said this before, but I'm currently taking music theory, and so yeah, I was trying to fiddle around with them, and here's the thing. Yeah, the chords work. I'm not the biggest fan of the chords. And I know what you're thinking, well, Chris, if you don't like the chords, why did you upload the video fully knowing you could have changed them and then you wouldn't have to embarrass yourself publicly with your terrible demonstration of your knowledge? Well, you see, this is one of those moments where I want you, the audience, to come along with me on my journey of development and see where I'm at. And also, this software is difficult to use when it comes to putting pitches in their place and making them flow within the metric rhythm of the so it's half of it is just on me and the other half of it is on the software. This is not a true proper demonstration of my musical capabilities. In fact, just because I said that, I'm not going to dedicate an episode to it, but at a certain point, I am going to go ahead and just show you guys. I'll just show you guys some of my compositional pieces that I've done for my class thus far. And just to, reassure your concerned hearts that I know what I'm talking about. Ish, when it comes to music theory. Don't come to me for tutoring. But anyway. So that's that taken care of. Those are the basic logistical fundamentals. Now the second thing on the agenda that I wanted to talk about for this episode, my future plans in general. I already told you some of the, I'll do the videos and this and that and that and that, right? But I mean like goals, not resolutions. Because if I call them resolutions, then I'm not gonna keep them. And I want to keep these goals. So I wrote them down elsewhere. And I am going to try and get to episode 20. Episode 20, we're at 6. I'm gonna try and get to episode 20 by the end of the average school year. And giving myself some grace, because I know a lot of people's schools end differently and college is desynced and people who have jobs don't even, operate with the school year. We'll just say that that's beginning of June. So by June 1st, that's the date. By June 1st, I want to be by episode 20. And now that I've said it publicly, it would be really embarrassing if I don't get there. So it's all the more incentive. And these future upcoming episodes aren't just gonna be, me talking to you. I mean, it probably will be, but me talking to you and you are looking at my profile picture. That's not what the future episodes might not be. Or, there's gonna be some of them like that, but I know like the next few are. But I might, expand the horizon and, integrate all the other things I was talking about earlier. So you have a very, 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 very fun thing to look forward to. And again, of course, I am always open to suggestions. If you guys have anything that you would like me to discuss that's not super duper crazy, I'll give it some time to consider. I can talk a lot, as those who've watched episode 5 can tell. And don't worry, I did not forget about part 2. I have been asked a lot, hey, when's part 2 coming out? When's part 2 coming out? Yeah, you didn't give this sport enough justice. And I know, but don't worry, it's coming. In fact, I'm gonna tell you now, it's gonna be episode 8. It's gonna be episode 8. Episode 8 is part 2. And also, don't think I forgot about that other story. Don't think I forgot about the other story, because I didn't. That's episode 10. Part 2 of that is episode 10. I didn't forget about that. I'm planning things out. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got this. I got this. So, that's that. That's that. Let's see. Other things. Let's see. I had more to talk about. I always do. But, there was something in particular I wanted to say. Yes. Okay, I was gonna talk about my other resolutions. I mean goals. I didn't say resolutions. You said resolutions? Because I didn't say resolutions. Somebody said resolutions, and that was not me. That was not me. But my other goals for this year, right? That's what I wanted to talk about. That's what it was. Yes. So, other than the podcast stuff, some of the personal things. I want to, by the end of this year, I want to be able to solve a Rubik's Cube up to the size of a 7x7. Now, for those of you who are confused, think about the regular Rubik's Cube, right? Just when you think of Rubik's Cube, bam, that the little 3x3 puzzle with all the colors on it, right? And they have, like, you turn it in a bunch of different directions, and it's white and yellow and green and orange and red and blue. Yeah, you know what a Rubik's Cube is, right? So they have a bajillion kinds, so many kinds of these things. Some of them are like smaller versions, some of them are bigger versions, some of them are smaller in the sense that there are less pieces, some of them are bigger in the sense they have more pieces, some of them are like a 3x3 but they turn differently, some of them aren't even cubes, some of them are bananas, and you just solve it, but it's a banana. And yeah, so if you look this up, it goes really deep into a big rabbit hole of the cubing community. It's a really big deal. So I myself, I wouldn't say I'm deeply devoted into the cubing community. I more or less kind of hang out, you know. I'm kind of the friend who would walk behind the two friends on the sidewalk, but I'm still a part of the group, but like I'm not actively engaged in the conversation, if that makes sense. So I cube here and there. I have a 2x2, which is 2 blocks by 2 blocks. It's like, think of wood, you know, like plywood you order at the store, you get like a 3x5 or whatever. It's the same thing with cubes. So I have a 2x2, I have a 3x3, which is the regular cube, and then I have a 4x4, and I recently got a 5x5. I ordered this one while I was recovering in bed from my surgery, and I figured it out within the day. So yippee-ki-yay. And yes, one could just look up on YouTube, how do I do this, and then you do it. However, I will say this, if you're just learning, like you're just fresh, brand new to the Rubik's Cube, you're on your regular cube, and you have never solved it before and you want to know how to solve it, and you don't want to look up a YouTube video, my advice to you, do not try to solve it face by face. Because most people, what they'll do is they'll get the cube and they'll go, oh my gosh, you solved the blue side. Wow. Oh my gosh, you solved the blue and the green side. Wow. You solved the blue, green, and the orange side. Oh, you're almost there. You're like halfway. Right. They say all this stuff because to the untrained eye, solving the cube is just a matter of solving each face at the same time. And that's not the case. That rhymed. No. What you want to do is instead think of it as layers. So you have the bottom layer, the middle layer, and the top layer. I'm orienting my hand as if you can see, but you can't. That's perfectly fine. Just imagine it with me. Just imagine it. Imagine it with me. So, yeah, that's just my little 2 cents on that. You can solve it face by face. It's just don't, because it's a lot harder. And of course, you can always just look it up. I will say, when I looked up how to solve the 3x3, it took me about 7 minutes to solve it once I learned how to solve it, because I didn't know what I was doing and I was very confused. So it's a patience game, I'll tell you that much. It's not yeah, let me just go do this real fast. No. If you're learning, just like learning, yeah, it's gonna take you a minute. But the best place to start is a 3x3. is a 3x3, because the rest of the cubes, to my knowledge, they kind of revolve around the standard 3x3. The 2x2, easiest cube to solve once you know how to solve a 3x3. The 3x3, that's just a 3x3. The 4x4 is like a 3x3 with extra steps. The 5x5 is like a 4x4 but with extra steps. Kinda, sorta. And I assume it continues from there. So, all in all, it's just a big process, and yeah. But back to the original statement, I want to be able to solve a 7x7. So that's one of my goals. Now, ooh, sorry, I took a swig of water there. Anyway, my next goal, and I'm watching the time, by the way. I remember my last episode was over an hour, and I got some complaints about that. Quote from somebody, won't say who, "You lost me at 25 minutes." So, as we're approaching, there we go. As we're encroaching upon the 25-minute mark, I'm gonna kind of speed things up because I understand. I'm gonna try and keep these episodes under 30 minutes going forward because I didn't mean to talk for an hour, by the way. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, next goal. I want to get abs. Now, there's a whole story with this. A story that could have its own episode, but it's not going to because I'm going to say it all here. So basically, freshman year, I was a part of cross country. And we'll talk more about that in episode 8. But I will say this. I had abs back then. I had abs. And I looked into the mirror and I was like, whoa. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, abs. I kind of. No, like it was definition. I had abs. And I was like, who is this guy? Wow. And ever since then, I just wish I had him back. Because as soon as the season ended, they were gone. Just like that. Lickety split. I tell you, my behind was on the couch thinking about all the work that I did, running. And now I was sitting and working and sitting and working and sitting and working and sitting and working and then sitting and sitting and then working. So yeah, and then the abs are gone. And then I was sad because usually when you decline in physical health, it's not that noticeable. Like, okay, sure, one could, as an adult, oh, I ate too much, and then now you're starting to put on some weight, and it's like, oh, you're getting big. But like with kids, usually it's like you're eating wrong, but like you can't really tell because of our metabolisms. But when you have abs, like definition, wow, I can see your abs under your shirt. Wow. And then you go from that to a stomach, no abs, just a flabby stomach. That hurts because that is the most obvious you have declined, you have fallen off sign ever. And so that hurt. And ever since I lost my abs, well, first I sulked, but then I was motivated to get them back. And so that was actually my goal for last year, to get abs, although it was too vague. And so I never did it. That's not true. I actually did get them back not for one day. That's not how abs work. But I had them back for a short time period, and then I celebrated by eating ice cream. You can guess how that went. So, I'm as the kids say, I'm locked in. I'm locked in this year, and I know what I'm going to do differently. I'm going to be more specific and consistent with my fitness. And I've already started. The other day, I did an hour and 30 workout on my own, not prompted by anything at all. And it was exhausting, it was terrible. And coming off a winter break, it was even worse because I was just sitting in bed all day and I didn't really leave my house. And so it was just, and it's cold, blizzards and snow, and usually I go on a run ever so often, but I can't do that anymore because it's cold. It's cold. And I mean, of course I can run in the cold. I'm in my closet. I'm actually looking at the clothes that I should be wearing if I were to do that. But no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, my options were limited, or so I thought. That wasn't until I put the pieces together and realized I can run in place. What? Running in place? Who would ever think of such a thing? I did. I thought of such a thing. And so I did it. And my mom also had an adult-sized jump rope. So I was out in the garage, jump roping and running in place like this was a Rocky montage. It was great. It was great. Blasting my music. Some tears were shed. I'm telling you, it was rough out there. It was rough. But I also learned some cool little jump rope tricks. You know how they spin it so fast, you're not really jumping, you're kind of hopping on each leg and like going back and forth, like tapping your toes really fast, like do 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 do. You know, I learned how to do that. That was cool. That was really satisfying. It almost felt like the equivalent of running, which, as long as I can get the rhythm down, it's not that difficult. And you look cool because, like, oh, he's going so fast on the jump rope, waha! But yeah. And then today, before I started recording, literally an hour before I started recording, I did a whole ab workout, stretching out the core and, you know, getting it stronger, doing all these core workouts. Had a little timer beside me, the whole little routine, set, whatever you want to call it. But I did that. However, I did not give myself enough time from my last meal. And so let's just say I almost upchucked my Arby's. And yes, I ate Arby's. Judge me, whatever. But I like Arby's. Regardless, it almost came out of me. So I decided to stop. And so I took an hour break and just sat there trying not to regurgitate my lunch. And yeah, I think I did enough good work for my ab workout. And, you know, I'm not going to give up, obviously, because that's not consistent. So I'm going to do it again later, not right now, but later. I'll do it later when I am in a better place physically, when I get my stamina back up. You know, I'm in show choir. It's comp season right now, so, you know, it's the prime year, not year, it's the prime part of the year for fitness. Yes, this is where it all matters. So I have to get in shape anyway. So once I, you know, do some competitions and whatnot, and, you know, just really get back to the groove of things with my body, I might try another high intensity ab workout again. But for now, I'm gonna stick to the other things that I need to work on, being stamina and just pure strength, you know, just muscle strength. I need to stretch. I have terrible flexibility, but I hate stretching. I hate it. It's terrible. It's exhausting. It's boring. It's painful. And it's not even like satisfying painful. You know, it's not like, not in a weird way, but it's not like, oh yeah, this hurts. I'm feeling the burn. Yeah, push harder. Like, you can't do that with stretching. You just gotta sit there and hurt. At least when you're running, you know, you can like run and it's like, oh, I'm tired, but I'm gonna push on, you know, and you run harder. You know, you gotta push through. It's stretching, you're just standing there. All right, now just go a little bit further. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Yep, just go. It's just an inch further, and it's just I just want to be flexible. So that's a patience problem. But yeah. Now, last thing, and I'm wrapping this up. I want more discipline, and that ties in with everything, because everything I said about the podcast and that fitness and just anything else going forward, academics, show choir, none of that is being completed without discipline. Discipline is one of the most important human characteristics that anyone could have, period, point blank, in my opinion. I think discipline is more important than love, than kindness. Like you have a list of all the character traits and the things of, you know, goodness. I think discipline is at the top, because without discipline, everything else will fall apart. And here's why. You heard of motivation, right? The feeling of, I'm in a good mood, I'm gonna do this, or I don't feel like it, I'm not gonna do this, or I just can't, not today, I'll do it tomorrow. You know, I was like, or yeah, I'm really feeling it. The music is in me and it's in my brain, and I'm lifting these weights and I'm unstoppable. I can beat a bear. You know, that, yeah, so easy, because I'm highly motivated, right? Motivation is really just based off your feelings, and feelings are important. They are, but they shouldn't dictate your life and your decisions, because, you know, believe it or not, your feelings are not the most important thing in this world. If your mortgage is due, but you don't feel like paying your bills, too bad. as the kids say, womp womp. Like, no. He doesn't really feel like doing the thing he needs to do. I understand. I once didn't feel like waking up and going to work. Yeah, it's fine. You can pay later. Or you don't have to pay at all because you don't feel like paying. No, it's not how the world works. We can't just let our feelings and our temporary desires override our long-term goals and objectives, which is where discipline comes in. When it comes to showing compassion to people, you can't just, I feel like being a kind person today. Because it's a good thing, right? You should always feel like a kind person. And if you don't, that's also fine. But that doesn't mean you should be a mean person. Because if you no longer feel like being a kind person and you become a mean person, are you really a kind person? You're not. You just did a kind thing. It's like the difference between being stupid and doing something stupid. If I make a mistake, I'm not a failure, I just failed. It's a matter of consistency. And so the same thing works with discipline. If I were to wake up every day at 5 a.m., P.S. I do, then, except for the weekends, I'm disciplined in that behavior. At first it was rough. I forgot why I started, but no, I remember why. Because I wanted more free time. And that's it. Perfect example. Okay, yeah. I wanted more free time in my day. I didn't like waking up and then immediately doing stuff. I wanted more time to myself. And so I said, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll do whatever I need to do. Whether it be homework, chill, play video games, or if need be, just go back to sleep. It's flexible like that. And so at first it was hard. And I was like, I don't feel like waking up. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, because there are still times in my life where it's like I roll over and I see the clock and it's 5:01 a.m. and I look up at the ceiling and I think, why am I awake? And then I think, do I have to do anything? And then the first thing I always say every single time, nothing that can't be done later. And then sometimes my brain will counter with the response, but you should still do it now. And that right there is what discipline is the, but you should do it now part. If you can do something now and you probably should, even if you don't feel like it, doing it is discipline. Being consistent and being able to just tell yourself, no, I don't care how I feel, I'm getting this done. That is discipline. That is how we get these episodes out. That is how I get abs. That is how I get my driver's license, which I didn't mention, but I don't have that. I don't even have my permit right now, and that's embarrassing. But it's true. You know why? Because I lacked discipline and motivation. But motivation's overrated. It's helpful, but it's not something you should rely on. Don't worry about it too much. If motivation's in your favor, huzzah! Yes, please use the motivation if it's in your favor, because that's going to accelerate whatever you're going to do. But if you don't feel like it, well then, who cares? Do it. And I mean, things happen in life, exceptions exist. And so, life is life, and you shouldn't overwork yourself to a point where you burn out. But I will say this, a little advice on the topic of discipline. If you just really can't do it, like you just can't do it that day, you just can't do whatever you got to do. If you're trying to be consistent with, keep saying, if you're working out, if you have a little schedule for yourself to work out every day and you just can't work out, or you want to take cold showers and be super duper macho and stand in the cold water and not flinch, but you just really don't feel like taking a cold shower, well, at least show up. And I mean show up to whatever the task is. So, okay, fine, you don't feel like working out. At least pick up the barbell. At least do one push-up. At least do the barest of bare minimums. At least turn the water on and get in the shower and then let it be cold and then warm up. Just do the bare minimum. Show up. Because as soon as you break that chain of consistency, then your brain is going to revert back to whatever was comfortable before, and then now it's going to make it so much harder on yourself to get back into the groove, which is why discipline is hard, but it's also why successful people exist, and that's why they stand out. worked because they were able to overcome the motivation and the feelings and the I don't feel like it, or oh, not today, I just need a day. And it's like, no, you don't get a day unless, something happens. But you know what I'm saying? They had high levels of discipline. And so, yes, that is my spiel. I'm looking at the time, and yeah, we're about to hit 40. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. I'm back. I'm gonna be more consistent. I'm gonna try. Like I said, this is a busy part of the year. Show choir, comp season, work, but hopefully everything goes great. Be on the lookout for my video that I will shortly be posting on my channel. It's a skit. Laugh at it or don't. I don't care. I'm laughing at it too. It's old. Don't judge me too hard. And if you've never seen me before, you will soon, assuming you watch it. But with that being said, ooh, I almost forgot. Ha ha ha. You almost caught me. I forgot the fun fact of the episode. Man, I almost forgot. Let's see, off the top of my head. I didn't prepare a fun fact at all. Let's see, something. Okay, I don't have a fun fact, but I do have a joke that I heard the other day. So, basically, I was talking to my home insurance company because I had some questions about some logistical matters. And apparently, if someone were to break into my house and steal my blanket, I wouldn't be covered. Woo! Oh, I know you're doubled over laughing right now. Oh, I can hear you wheezing. I'm gonna believe you're laughing so hard right now because, woo! That was funny. I know I'm laughing. Yeah. Thank you, Shirt. I know you found it funny. That was great. But with that, toodaloo, a buckaroo.